Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video. I am back with another siege defense video because our guild is apparently running a Conrad defense. You know, the Conrad defense that is pretty popular, has been pretty popular for a while now, and I have showcased a counter to it, which I use really well. I have 3 copies of it that I use to get usually 3 wins if I meet that defense. But seeing that our guild is also running it, why not build it? And why don't I try to make it at least cleave proof when I go into it? I already have the defense up, and I do have an idea on the builds. I am thinking that this Kinki will be on a damage build, more attack, somewhat similar to my RTA build actually, on destroy though, because I think the only way that this defense really has a chance to win is either this Kinki is on despair and you get a lot of lucky stuns, or you want this Kinki to violent proc into oblivion, and when he procs you want him to do damage, and that's why you need to semi make it into the build that you saw in my RTA video. So it's going to have, I think, around at least 2000 attack in total, with at least 250 something speed to be in the 286 tick and 100 res. So we'll try to get that build going. I believe the Robo will be on Vio. I do think the Vio variance is a little better because it makes his passive a little more annoying, as he could proc during that passive turn as well, so he could come back quicker. And we'll just make it as tanky as possible. Finally, the Conrad. Now this is the hardest part. I'm thinking of making it a double nem will, hoping that it could survive a copper, which is really hard. Now, I don't think it could go copper proof because the defense, base defense is so low. I think you need a lot of defense. It probably has to be like a defense build actually, if you want to make it a copper proof Conrad. That will be an idea. It will be an option. I'll first try out my initial thought of going on double nemesis will with as much HP and having minus 23% from wind and minus 13% from crit damage. I already pre-selected these artifacts because these are the best that I had. I wish I had something better, but for negative wind, this is the best I had. So with that, I'm hoping that my build could survive a copper. And if it does, then it works. And when I say it survives a copper, I mean my copper. My copper does decent damage, the 2A copper. So I'll be happy if it survives that. If it doesn't, I will try to make it a copper trap and go defense. If that doesn't work, then it's really hard to make it copper proof. So I'll come back with the builds and let's test it out with my counter. Okay, I am done ruining the defense. So this is the Conrad on double nem will. Again, if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna switch it to a defense build, probably on Vio. Or maybe still make it a more trappish, so even put in determination somewhere. We'll see. You could even put in like double shield on the Robo if you want to, but mine's on Vile seal. Doing more damage on wind because again, my counter is mostly wind units. So just keep in mind that I did make this defense to try and counter the counter that I bring in against this defense. Doing more skill to accuracy, taking less crit damage. Try the Kinki. So we got the 2100 attack in total. I do have to get more grinds for this rune here to get more HP and speed, so I'll work on that. Yeah, just speed, HP, attack. There is some room for improvement with some of these runes for sure. More damage on wind and additional damage, and skill 1 accuracy. So let's test this. So this is the counter that I'm talking about. It's with Delphoid on Violent Will, a copper on Rage Guard, and finally in Amicetti on Swift Broken. Now there are flaws in this offense as well. Is the Delphoid. I think the best thing to do is to get this quicker in that 286 tick so that it could take equal turns to the defense. Right now it won't because it's under that tick, so the opponent will eventually, in theory, take more turns, and that's a little scary because these 2 units, the Robo and Kinki, are both on Vio, and a hard-hitting Kinki on Vio is scary. I do believe I lost to one. So let's test this. Usually how this counter works is that you kill off the Conrad. Let's see how much damage you do. 71k. There's no way it's surviving. There's no way. So I do have to change things up. There's just no way. Maybe I should just make it a cover trap. We have to get the Oblivion. We do. So it's kind of GG actually. Oh wait, I should be going for Kinki. See, there's that Bio proc. To be safe, we give it to Delphoid. We have skill 3 again, so even with the Robo coming back, it won't do much. Slow. Stun. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it's GG. So that's not gonna work. Let's go with the defense build. Okay, let's try this. Conrad on Violent Determination. I actually don't know how much defense he will need to counter the coppers, but if this doesn't counter copper, then I'll have to make it even slower. Let's try this. See how slow he is. Can we get the ignore defense? We still get it. Dude, how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna do it? Do we actually have to put it on double or triple shield? The Robo? Okay, so I made one more change on Violent Guard now. I just want to make it a copper trap because I think that makes it just way too easy. Violent Guard, almost plus 2000 defense. Now forget about determination, just go for that defense. Let's see if we could survive a copper. Or is the 2A copper just too strong now? You know, with the buff stats being a 2A. I'll also test it with a non-awakened copper. Although whoever uses copper bulldozer at higher level should have them all awakened. Let's see it. It still goes through, man. How much defense do we need? How much defense do we need? This makes it too easy. I guess this is really hard because Delphoid's leader skill also gives another 40% win defense. I guess I have to scrap this actually and find a way to counter it some other way. What if I just go a whole lot of HP on triple shield, and then I have to make this Robo also on double shield, most likely. Or at least violent shield. Let's try that. That might be a better way to do it. Okay, this is the last way to do it. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna make it conventionally. I guess I'll lose to copper bulldozers. I guess I'll lose to the copper ones, but man, then I don't want to run this defense. I want to make it copper trap. But triple shield on Conrad. We have a double shield focus on Robo on 257 speed. I want it on this tick, at least a Robo. Reason why I couldn't go triple shield. And then we have the same Kinki. I do want to keep that Kinki the way it is, because I think Destroy and Bio is pretty much a must. So trying this again. So we know that we can't make it a copper trap because the base defense is just so bad. So we have what? 5 shield sets. That's 15% per shield set. So 45% shield on the Conrad's HP. I think it's base HP though. So 9,700 was the base. 15% for each of that is around 1,100-ish. So let's just say 3,500 more HP here. Damn, that's so bad. And here is 15% on his base of like 10,000. So it's still only like another 3,000, 4,000 here. So even together, it's only like 10k more HP. That's not gonna do it. We're hitting for 70k. 64k. Yeah, so like it did block like 11k damage, but it's just not enough. It's just I need crazy artifacts for this to work, huh? Damage reduction from wind, and this is damage reduction from wind of 24% or 23%, and 13% decreased damage on crit damage, and we're still hitting for 74k. Another way to counter this is to make this a swift robo, but to contest like an Amasetti that's plus 223. Well, we do have a speed lead though. Should I try that? Should I go a swift robo? Maybe that's the way I should do it. Let's try that. Okay, so I think this has to be it. The Vitras on Violent Seal. I thought of Will, but I think a Seal would be nice because I am trying to go first anyways. This is my fastest Swift set that's not broken outside of my Triton, Illudia, and Adriana runes on 309 speed. So with 19%, I am getting 19 more speed. So it should be faster than my Amasetti. And the Amasetti currently has my Adriana runes, which is my fastest set. I mean, if somebody is faster than me, then sure, yeah, they're gonna outspeed and win. But at least it counters my counter, which was the whole point of this video. Let's see if we get outsped. We do. No stun though. Wait, no stun? Really? Then what changes? Nothing changes, huh? Everything's the same. This is bad. Well, I guess we do have to be lucky because it is a water unit. It is a water unit going into a wind unit. Let's try that again. But we are outspeeding, so we're really betting for that stun. If that doesn't happen, I think we lose. Yeah, we need that. See? That's what we need. That's what we need. Now, we will again lose if they're all on will. I guess that's another counter. If they're all on will, then we're in trouble. I wonder if we could counter that by also making the Conrad on Swift. If we make Conrad also on Swift. See, that's also good. Although we just give the turn. Well, actually no. Even if we do this, Conrad now moves. Trade comes in. Yeah, if this happens, it gets really hard for the defense to win. Or sorry, the offense to win. Because there's no more sustain. Even if we kill the Conrad, there's so much damage. And the Robo is also annoying. We have no will. I guess if we just land one stun is good enough. I don't want to put Conrad also on Swift. I think it's good enough. So I guess this is the way we'll do it. Violent Seal on Conrad, not really being a copper trap or anything. Really hard to do so due to his horrendous base speed. We had runes that had like 40-something% defense and we still couldn't get it anywhere close to the required defense we needed to become a trap. So I just scraped that. Robo's on Swift. I think this is probably one of the better counters. And probably maybe the only counter. So on one of my faster builds, and it makes sense because these are almost close to quads. This is a quad. This is not a quad, but it does have a +6 as being an ancient rune. Can it be quicker? Probably not. Yeah, see, that's the fastest slot 3 after the first few, and that's the fastest slot 5. So yeah, we'll just try this. We'll just try this. And Kinki, obviously, if it does its stuff, it does its stuff. So hoping that this gets some wins. If I do put it up with my other guildmates' defenses, I think that nobody else has a trap, so I guess I'll be the only one. Again, this is not G3 Siege, so I'm pretty sure nobody really cares about my defenses. So I'm sure that it's gonna scoop up some wins. If you see my other defense that we built last time, it got some wins, 8-6, and this is with it being the only Platy Irene Shahat defense in the tower. So I could only imagine it doing better if our guild decides to build this, but I guess it's not impactful enough yet for them to build it. I'm gonna get rid of this. That's why I didn't care about taking like Challenger runes and stuff, because the win rate is really bad. This one is still doing well, so I'm gonna re-rune the Celia because we did take out the runes there. But one by one, I will be switching these defenses, especially if you guys enjoyed this type of content. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account reviews, join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvements, please check out the description below. There should be a link to the Google Forms to sign up, or join my Discord, and there should be a channel that shows all the prices and also the same link to that Google form. That was it, and I'll see you guys next time.